Are you ready for some props? Tough guy? We got 9 of them. We did move to 7-0 on our best bets. Let's dive into it. And I do have 2 Monday night specials. One of them that, if it hits, it will be my favorite one of all time, perhaps. But we'll start with Dalton Schultz. We're going to go over 35.5 receiving yards for Dalton Schultz. As we mentioned, he is Mr. Zone. He's actually been good this year. If you look over the game logs, I don't have that in front of me, but I believe he's got 4+ grabs like in every game. The Bucs are they allow the 10th fewest adjusted yards before contact. Actually, no, that's the wrong data point here. They are zone heavy, and he's Mr. Zone, as I mentioned before, and they are giving against the tight ends as I find it. They do play the 3rd highest rated zone, and that's when you want Schultz, as I mentioned, averages an excellent 2.09 yards per route run against zone. Seattle gives up the 5th most receptions per game, 6.3, and the 9th most receiving yards. So I would be pretty shocked if he didn't get to 4 to 5 grabs. So there's that. Over 35.5, that's what it was. I don't think that's probably moved much. I mean, it's Dalton Schultz, for God's sakes. JMO, a little risky. Always risky with JMO. But then again, when you have a total like this, you can get it on one catch if you're Jameson Williams. Over 46.5. As I mentioned, the Bucs blitz at the 5th highest rate. JMO is good against the blitz. 2.31 yards per route run. He's got a lot of trust. He's been a little bit of a pet project for them, and, he's coming along pretty well, even though he didn't really have a great September. It's a long season, and he had a good game last week, so maybe he's turned a little bit of a corner. Tampa gives up the 5th most receiving yards to outside receivers. We also show this as a very good schematic matchup for JMO, one that we show as potentially giving him a 26% boost to his fantasy points per route run. Now, he will see a lot of Jamal Dean, who's been pretty good, but he's been beaten in the past, and JMO got him for 5 grabs for 79 in this matchup last year. Next up, Sterling Shepard. If you have followed me or you listen to me on Sirius for forever, I love Sterling Shepard. Coming out, I just thought he was so good, like clean, crisp route runner, reliable. Availability has been a real problem, but Baker's, why wouldn't he look for him? That's his boy from college, and he's reliable. Detroit uses man coverage at a top 6 clip. He actually does very well against man, but they also do give up a lot. 73% completion rate against man, 8.12 YPA. They're all banged up in the secondary. No Kirby Joseph, no Avonte Maddox, DJ Reed still out, Terrion Arnold still out. He's an outside corner. Shepard lines up inside 52% of the time. Tied for the lead in target share on the team against man. And because of the excellent route running precision, he's a great separator against man with a win rate of 31%. So I like the potential here to go over 35.5. Again, they're 5.5, 6-point road underdogs. So I think come on, we're road underdogs with Baker Mayfield balling and dealing, and it's only 35.5 yards. So, it's one of those deals. If it doesn't hit, I'm just going to chalk it up to football. Next up, Rachaad White at 20.5. Lions do give up. They're tough to run on, giving up the 10th fewest rushing yards per game, but they also give up, a decent amount of receiving yards. Not great, but we have an expected total of 53 in the game. He's dominating Sean Tucker in snap share, and most importantly for this prop, route share at 76% to 12%. It's likely his last game filling in for Bucky. But by the way, head coach Todd Bowles basically said today that they have 2 number 1 running backs. And I've stated this all year because I was very high on Rachaad. Of course, I'm always high on Rachaad. It's one of my favorites. But I'm like, look, he's in the final year of his rookie deal. I know Bucky looks great, but Bucky's a smaller guy. If he goes down, I said it all summer. I said, Rashaad's an RB1 or a great RB2, and he's right there. And they love him. Why wouldn't they? Least entitled athlete I've ever encountered. Next up, we're going to go with C.J. Stroud rushing. just because it's going to be a struggle bus situation. And he does have 27 or more yards in 4 of his 5 games. Seattle is 13th in pressure rate. It's not good. Stroud is terrible against pressure. Most guys are. Some guys flourish under it, but most young quarterbacks are bad. He's really bad. So I think it's going to be rough. So I think is just simply going to have to take off and run, as he's done quite a bit. And speaking of running quarterbacks, Baker Mayfield, we're doing it. Even though, pretty big number here at 18.5. But while he averages a poor 5 yards per attempt against man coverage, which is terrible, a lot of that is no Big Mike. It works out for him in the running game because he takes off and run. He's got at least 2 carries for 12 yards in every game. He's hit this in his first 3 games. The last time he played a team that plays as much man as the Lions do, maybe they won't here because of the injuries, he ran 4 times for 33. But look, they're 5.5 point underdogs on the road. And they will play some man, I'm sure. So he'll probably take off and run. It'll be close. But we're going over. We're also going over on Cooper Kupp, as we mentioned, with the grinder Tom Brawley, over 35.5. He will avoid those outstanding outside corners, Stingley and Lassiter. Houston gives up the 11th most yards per route run, 12th most receiving yards, 2 slot receivers. He has at least 3 targets in 2 catches in each game. And he's hit this in 2 of his last 3. Actually, in 3 of his last 5 as well. So not a lock, but schematically and logically, it would make sense for him to be more of a factor in this game. Now we've got the 2 low-end ones that are a little weird, but it's not weird if it wins. Dave Montgomery, over 8.5 receiving yards, as the Bucs allowed the 10th fewest adjusted yards before contact, 3rd fewest rushing yards per game, but the 3rd most receiving yards per game at 55. Certainly Jahmyr Gibbs is in play, but these guys both got it done in the passing game in this matchup last year. Gibbs 7 grabs for 57. I believe the grinder and I were in on that. But Monty, and I remember being annoyed by it because he had 4 for 35 himself. So I like him to get 9 damn yards in this one. Then how about this one? This is a little weird. Isaac Tesla, over 9.5. Don't look now, but the Bucs are allowing the most schedule adjusted fantasy points per game to wide receivers lined up on the right side, which is where Tesla lines up. He has the 2 highest snap shares of the season last 2 weeks, 34 and 46%. So I think he's going to make a play often against Zion McCollum, who's given up a generous 0.37 fantasy points per route run, which brings us to the Monday night special. I love Isaac Tesla. If I were to be blessed with the physical skills to play in the NFL, I would be like Tesla. That's what I was when I would play, big play guy. So we're going to go with a touchdown anytime for Tesla at plus 600. Really love the spot. He's due. And then for the other one, based on the schematic matchup and the good spot for Dalton Schultz, we'll go with a Dalton Schultz anytime touchdown at plus 320.
Thanks for watching, but don't let the betting insights end here. If you want an extra edge this football season, you can get a month of VSiN Pro right now absolutely free. That means access to our betting insights, analysis, and tools like our betting splits at 0 cost to you. Click the link in the description to sign up.